how do you remember kind of charting the rise in popularity of this event, both locally and kind of bringing in a national spotlight?
Well, I think the buzz was always these outside teams. Our fans in Oregon were just rabid about getting there and seeing us. And as a coach, I wanted to play one of those guys if I could. I didn't care if I got swatted a little bit, which happened. The people just picked up on it. Look at these stars coming in. And, you know, anytime your kids can play against an NBA star, my guys got to play against Kevin Durant. Okay, so they still remember that, you know. So I just think everybody took off real positive with a look at the stars coming in. Well, first tournament was '96. So how that got started then was Neil Lomax, as a good friend, you know, he came to Barry and I and said, hey, I've got a sponsor. What do you guys have? We go, wow, we'd like a Christmas tournament. You know? And so, boom, that's really where it took off right there. And so he had Les Schwab in his pocket. And of course, that upset some people because Les Schwab came to us and was hooked up with us right away.
Since its start, the Les Schwab Invitational was meant to be bigger than just Oregon. LSI has always welcomed out-of-state competitors. It's been one of the driving factors for its success, starting with nationally renowned program Oak Hill in 1997.
Well, I think the connection was Nike. Nike jumped in, and they're the connection and have been on landing big schools.
Even I knew who Oak Hill was then because you had the Ron Stricklands, the Ron Mercers, the Jerry Stackhouse that came from there. I'm like, are you joking? It's like, no, let's get him for 1997. So that's year 2. We'll get him. And I can remember their opening game was at Westview High School against Jefferson. And Jefferson was no slouch. I mean, they had some good players, but this was also like Aaron Miles and Michael Lee freshman year. And I can remember from the get-go, the place was jam-packed. Tip-off comes, and all of a sudden, you know, the kind of Oak Hill's a breakaway. A guy named Anton Scott, who went to Georgia Tech, stopped. And I was like, what's going on? A couple of Jeff players came to catch up. He 360 and dunked on him for an and one. And I remember everybody coming like out of their seats like they had not seen that ever happen in a high school game. Especially the sport of basketball, you really know who the players are, you know, nationwide. Again, it's a lot easier now. There's so much more information out there. But even back then, we became connected with a lot of good, influential people, you know, from the head guy from USA Today, you know, that are nationally known. And we invited them to come out to see the tournament, and we took care of them. And they walked away as like, you know what, this was one of my favorite experiences. You know, so we started getting write-ups in national newspapers. And that was a huge difference, especially as we started talking to other teams that were powerhouses. They already knew the name.
From that moment on, LSI has become a showcase for future NBA talent. The blue chip stars may bring in outside eyes, but Oregonians still show up to support their community, and their local players don't back down from a little extra competition.
Well, basically, you just tell your guys play as hard as they can. Let's look at this experience. It's one of the greatest things you're going to have. You're going to play against this guy. Hey, you know, I don't tell my kids this, but if we shoot 70%, we might be in the game. Okay? But really, the thing you think about is after the game. Is you put it in perspective. Yeah, I remember getting beat by Kevin Durant. We had a good team. I said, hey, put this in perspective. You know, we're not going to play a team that good ever again. So, you know, we can beat anybody still. So you try to bring them back to reality, because reality is not playing Oak Hill. So yeah, it turns things around, and you know every year you've got somebody with that kind of ability coming in. Maybe not the same physical stature, but I think the kids love to play against them. The fans love. They come to see these kids from out of state, believe me. And then they're very proud of how our Oregon schools did.